Hi, my name is Deborah Sipple, and I'm a mixed media abstract artist. My creative process has always been intuitive and compelling in creating these images that have an almost sculptural quality to them, and that in creating them brings me a sense of calm that's always been hard to explain. I layer pencil over patterns of watercolor, graphics, sometimes an underdrawing that remains visible through my image and adds a layer of dimension to the piece that I just love. Which leads me to my story about my magazine cards. Many, many years ago, I worked for a magazine distributor as a magazine merchandiser. I would go into stores, take the old magazines off the shelf, and put them in a recycle bin. All of these magazines had subscription cards with graphics on them, many of which I just loved. And I was an artist that was always looking for material that I could work with creatively that would otherwise be discarded. And I thought these little cards with the graphics were perfect for me to do some drawings on. So I began to collect them, and I collected many of them in many different titles. I actually have quite a few boxes, small boxes, full of magazine cards. I began to draw on them, and I loved the way my imagery worked with the graphics of these little cards. But I realized there was something deeper to it for me. I'm a reader. I love books. I love magazines. I've always felt that magazines had creative content and artistic expression that was a representation of the culture, society, values, and beliefs. I also realized that magazines were beginning to lose their impact due to the internet becoming a greater source of information and reading material, as well as the growing concern around environmental issues with paper, which I completely understood. But I thought it would be meaningful to, over the years, create a body of work with these little magazine cards that in some way would preserve and represent all of these, this vast array of all of these magazines that in some way represented us. I realized that inspiration can show up in the most unlikely ways at the most unlikely times. And I'm very grateful for that, part of the creative process for me. I want to thank you all for supporting the arts and the artists. It means so very much. I hope you all enjoy the artwork and be well.